Linh-chan and Dimi-chan play games. Welcome back, Chan-chans.
Welcome back, Chan-chan.
I hope you're all doing well. Today we're going to continue exploring the forest navel. Yesterday I got a few parts ready for the taken. So we'll go ahead and get those, but first we need to kill a bunch of things. That way our Pikmin don't die. Because there are lots of fire-breathing monsters in the way, and the blue Pikmin won't stand a chance. I made that mistake in the past.
Well, you can
They
just
all
run
die.
back into the water and it'll be fine, right?
No. They just scream in circles when they're on fire.
Really? I want to see.
You want to see? Okay,
Yeah.
I'll sacrifice one for Lynn's enjoyment. Come on, yeah. Let's grab like 40 of these. I think I need a fair amount for that big thing in the water. Let's grab like 40 of these, and I'll grab 20 yellow guys so we can grab lots of bombs, because I was also walking in circles the other day trying to find bombs so we can blow up all these walls. And there are two locations with bombs, one that's impractical and one that's very practical. We have no yellow guys. Let's go make... Or did we grab too many? Wait. Are there people
98.
buried somewhere else? Oh, there are people buried over there.
There are two, just two.
Yeah, why? Anywho.
They didn't get eaten.
Anywho, let's take our merry band of Pikmin slaves, and let's have them do all our dirty work. What do you think? Sound like a good idea?
Yeah. Look at that little lazy one over there.
Where is the little lazy one?
He joined back.
Oh, he joined back in. Let's call these distracted guys. Why do they get so distracted all the time? They're like, ooh, shiny.
They got no brains.
Like those guys just fell over. It's like, come on, guys, and then they like run back all merrily.
They got no brains. Man.
Okay, so you wanted to see one guy. Here, I'll waste the blue guy. You wanted to see him.
Poor
burn.
guy.
Let's put him right there. Is he gonna take interest?
He can't see. Oh, there you go.
Oh, hi.
He didn't die.
I died.
Got you instead.
Come on,
Did he
little boy
die?
guy. No, he
He
didn't die. I called him back too quickly.
No, he's like attacking. You're teaching all the other ones a lesson. Like,
There we go.
like don't wander off because this is
You
gonna
see him?
what
Oh, now he
happened.
died.
Is he dying?
Yeah, look, those
Oh,
little
he's
Pikmin.
like kind of shriveled
Are you happy now?
up.
Are you happy now? You yellow guy? You're
Did
gonna
the
die.
other ones learn the lesson not to wander about?
No, they don't. They don't learn very much. So I'm just gonna take care of this guy. So he doesn't hurt the red ones, but he does blow all their flowers off, which is impractical. But there we go. That should take care of that guy. And then let's attack this one. Oh, he does hurt me though.
Well, because the red ones can go on fire, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then the yellow ones carry bombs, right? And then the blue ones can go in the water.
Exactly. Okay, so that should make plenty. Okay, let's make one more red guy. And then let's grab the... Actually, let's grab these red guys. I have a job for them. So, right up here is one of the ship parts that we got. So we'll have the red guys bring that back. And we'll go... Come on, no, don't go under the bridge.
That's a huge spring.
It is a huge spring. We'll take all these guys out of the way. And then we will go with the yellow guys behind and get a whole bunch of bombs.
How do you call one color?
You just whistle on that group.
Oh, so you stand next to a color.
Yeah, so
and you
I'm gonna go
whistle.
right here and they will go do that. Oh. Are there any more bombs? Yeah, there's plenty of bombs in here. Look, I found the mother load of bombs.
How do you know there are plenty?
did I get? I think I got all bombs. So I think there are more bombs in there.
There's one that doesn't have anything.
There is?
Yeah, that little guy on the left that isn't. See, look. Or two.
You guys, there were like bombs under there. See right here?
They're being overwhelmed.
You're being overwhelmed and dumb. Oh, there's just one more. Really? So I guess we had 16 people, so there's 15 bombs. Okay? Good yield, like in chemistry. So we were watching chemistry videos the other day, and like every time this guy would do something, it reminded me of like what actually happens when you do a chemistry experiment. Like the book will say like, oh, this will completely react with this and it'll be perfect, and then in the end you end up with like a 30% yield instead of 100, which is a theoretical. It's like, what happened to all this stuff? I thought chemistry was like this pure and like awesome. Did I have just enough people? I did. I thought chemistry was this pure and awesome field where it's like there's no ambiguity and all that. And it's like plenty of ambiguity. It's a mess. Everything's just a mess.
Well, it's never 100%. Nothing is ever 100%, especially when you do experiments. You know, like there might be some impurity in the elements that you're using too. So it's also your techniques, you know, like if you wait an extra second as opposed to like doing it right on time or that kind of thing, or if you can't judge it right away. I know when I was in college, I took a lot of chemistry labs, and my yields were never, you know, like my yields were always like 1 or 2%. It was never the, you know, the 100% that they expect you to do, you know. Yeah. It's impossible to get a good yield if you're doing it for the first time, you know. And that's what a lot of experience is all about. Like nothing gets done. You don't really accomplish much by just doing something once, you know. It takes a lot of practice, and you gotta like perfect your pipetting skills or your measurement skills, your weighing skills, you know, like any little thing can affect it, you know. Yeah. So. No, that's very true. I mean, nothing like in life... you could be standing there measuring, like weighing out some powder stuff that you need, and then like all of a sudden you breathe a little too hard, you know, you can like be blowing off some of that powder, you know what I'm saying? Like there's really no guarantee when it comes to experiments. Yeah. I mean, it would be nice if everything was nice and perfect, but we all know that's never gonna happen. Yeah, that is if you're in like a vacuum, like you're in your own little, you know, box. You're dealing with two atoms, and you know exactly what those two atoms are gonna go, and you're not gonna lose them. Yeah. So. Chemistry. But it's just like life in a way, right? Like nothing is perfect. Nothing is perfect. Back to China, like even around the world, we have such a different. There's such different outcomes depending on like how things happen in the past. Like, for instance, going back to that one-child policy, what China did not know is that because of their cultural choices of like preferring men to carry the family name, it doesn't even have to be like your own offspring. It's just you have to, like, if you don't have a boy, back in the day, it would be expected of you to adopt a boy. Yeah. To just have them be your son, so that way they can carry your family line and your family name. I mean, what a lot of rich families would do too, like if they have a girl and that they're not allowed to have any more kids, like what a lot of people would do is that the fact that they're rich, they would pretty much buy the son into the family, you know. So and like in the end, like the son, the male that is being married into that female's family, like have to take her name, that kind of thing. That way, just so they can pass down the legacy to that guy, because so then it stays within that family, within that name, you know. It's ridiculous. And that's quite prominent as well, like with a lot of I'm not going to say a lot of Asian cultures because I really don't know outside of a few of them. But for instance, in Japanese culture, it's very common for like a company to be passed down to the family members, not to someone who's actually skillful. Like I know for a fact, like Nintendo kind of broke tradition
when they chose Iwata to be their company president, because it was a family company up until that point, and it was never before seen that an outsider, like even if you consider them an insider because they kind of like work there, but like an outsider was taking over,
Yeah.
Like it's a very different dynamic than Western culture.
Wait, so they had
nowadays.
an outsider take over the company rather than pass it down
to their kids? Yeah.
Well, they're smart.
Well, if you think about it, like a lot of the really long living companies are Japanese.
Yeah.
Like Nintendo is over 100 years old. Mm-hmm. You don't think of it as an over 100-year-old company, but it is. Like most Japanese companies are over 100 years old. They've changed through the times to stay relevant, but it's always been like a small little empire if you think about it that way,
But I feel like in the end, business is business. Like you shouldn't have to consider bloodline about, it's business is about making money. It's about making the right decision. So, and the fact that you go into the business, you want to succeed at doing something, right? Mm-hmm. So, I mean, it seems like they made the right choice by not passing it down to someone with that same name, but to someone who is more experienced, someone who, is more capable. Mm-hmm. I mean, if they haven't done that, they probably wouldn't still be around today.
Oh, yeah, that's definitely true. Like,
I think that's a lot of mistake. What people do is that, there's this saying in Asia where it's like blood is thicker than water. Mm-hmm. And that saying is pretty much meaning that like no matter who you are, what you have done, family always comes first. Whether they can prove themselves or not, it's family first before anybody else. Mm-hmm. So a lot of times that's the reason why things don't last so long for a lot of people, is because they can't think beyond the bloodline, Mm-hmm.
But I was trying to get all these blue guys.
I think because of this whole, idea of having a male to carry down the bloodline, there's a good thing that comes out of it. Actually, I mean, from the China's one child policy, like because the fact that a lot of people didn't have
girls.
Yeah, a lot of people end up having girls, and because of this one policy, the fact that they didn't want to get fined, they didn't want to give up their daughter. Mm-hmm. For thousands of years, like in China, like women have the lowest status in a household. Mm-hmm. Like women are treated like shit.
Yeah.
So, but because of this one policy, people didn't want to break the law. They end up thinking about that, and that the fact that they only have one child, so they started to invest all of their savings into shaping this girl. Mm-hmm. And in the end, that's where, like a lot of women now today are very successful in China. They're more educated, than they were before. Like women were at that point where like girls growing up were given more opportunities because there weren't a lot of boys around, or because they were now the focus of that family. Mm-hmm. So they were being given educations. They were, all these opportunities that they would never in their lifetime would have thought of, Mm-hmm. So in the end, like women, something good happened.
Yeah, and kind of unexpectedly to all this is all those. Hold on, I'm trying to get all these yellow guys. All those like women that were not abandoned and that were raised well and educated and all that, is there's now kind of hysterically a shortage of women in China, which makes them kind of valuable. Like they are free to make their own choices at this point.
Yeah.
Ooh.
And it's also really funny that, like, for thousands of years, like, women have no say in their marriage and whatsoever,
Mm-hmm.
They have no say at all. But the fact that because of this one child policy law, everyone wanted to have a boy to carry down their bloodline. So then girls were being abandoned. So now in China, there's currently a shortage of women. So
Mm-hmm.
all of these women growing up, like, having a successful career, being really educated, they're more career oriented. So then they don't really aren't really subjected to the idea of like, oh, I need to get married, I need to have kids in order to be taken care of. They're very independent. So in the end, like all the men's are now like can't get married for that reason. So it's really interesting.
Yeah, as a male in Chinese society, you now need to have a large house.
Yeah.
You need to be rich, and you have no choice. And all the women are taking their time.
Yeah, they're making
educating
all the
themselves, making a career for themselves. And
they're in no hurry to get married. And then you have
no, because there'll be someone waiting for them at any age. They're no longer restricted to like doing things right when they need to.
Exactly, which is
they're
really
calling the shots.
Yeah.
I like how I magically appeared back at the landing site, just by being very far away.
Well, I think everything seems far away because you're so tiny.
Yeah, like...
You know?
That's a piece of grass.
like that whole area that you were just wandering is probably like just 2 steps away if you were a normal human size, you know? So...
I don't know if you noticed as well, a bunch of red Pikmin decided to commit suicide. They were mad at my leadership, and they just decided, okay, I'm just going to go in the water now and drown. And of course, since the sound is turned down, I did not hear them drowning.
They were
until the very last
about, you know, the whole situation in China.
Look at that little dip right there. They heard our story, and they're like, no, can't take this anymore.
I can't deal with this bullshit.
Don't kill yourselves.
Yeah, there's many, you know, ways to get around it. If you need help, ask someone, you know.
There are people willing to help.
Yeah.
And all you're doing is you're not making, like, things end. You're just getting rid of the chance that things will ever get better.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Take that. Take that for what it is. Anywho, see you guys next time.
Ciao, ciao.
Bye-bye, Chan-chans.
Chan-chan.
Chan-chan-chan-chan. Linh-chan Dimi-chan. Linh-chan Dimi-chan. Linh-chan Dimi-chan.